keep myself accountable by repeating this over and over again. So you guys can question me about this as well. I want to help 1 million orphans, and exciting updates with that is that I've got in contact with a certain orphanage in Pakistan, and I asked them about what their monthly expenses are with the food and just general expenses as well. And we've come to some sort of agreement where I'd be sending over everything that they would need for the whole month. So inshallah, that should be exciting. So I can see, what is happening with the money that I'm sending, and actually see the kids and know who is being helped with the money. So inshallah, I'll be sharing videos of that when they do send it to me. Number two is, I want to make this program the best place for Muslims to start a halal business. And inshallah, that will be achieved step by step by improving the program by 1% every single week. Today's topic is number one, 5K day for Abdu in the accounting niche. We'll be covering a few of his updates, what he needs to do next, and then you guys can see, basically live what he's going to be working on, so you can expect, okay, when I get to this point, this is what I will be working on as well. Number two is standards over goals. I really don't believe in goals, and I will expand a bit more on that, but standards over goals. So this is the screenshot that Abdu sent to me Thursday night, basically morning for me. But 5K day, when was it? What day was it? Thursday, right, Abdu?
Salam, yeah, it was Thursday.
It was Thursday. But yeah, alhamdulillah, it was one of those days where you finally get to see, hey, okay, this is what it's like. You get to feel the feeling, okay, this is real money that I'm making now.
Mhm.
And now you'll have different set of problems, growing problems, because there's problems not having money, and then there's problems having money as well. So you just have to adapt to both. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. So for you right now, I told you the next steps, switching over from Stripe to something else. And I've told you the reasons why you need to do that, because high volume Stripe is not the best. And trust me, I've been burnt by it. So switch away from Stripe. I know, you see on those YouTube videos the Stripe screenshots like you're sending me. It seems cool, but it's not worth it, especially when you're running ads. Guys, please don't ask me why. I'll explain when you get to a stage. But for Abdu, you need to change your payment processor, get e-transfers, or if you still want to do a payment processor or you want to collect credit cards, then use Coke Card. That's the payment processor that I use. I have a very good relationship with them. You can actually speak to them and not be ignored by these guys. But anyway, just use Coke Card, and if you want the link to the guy that will help you get set up, all that stuff, I can send to you. So for credit cards, use Coke Card, and generally just use e-transfer. And make sure to start recording your calls. Number one is because if in case there's an issue with the payment processor, you can send them the call recording. And number two is if you want to hire a sales team, you need the call recording so they can see what the structure of the call is. So definitely start recording, bro. This is just a company structure, the fundamentals that you need in place. Now, the couple of questions that you sent to me were, how do I dial in fulfillment? Quickly answering that question, now at your stage, you already have the basics in place. You have your media buyer, you have a rough structure on how you're delivering to the clients so far. So moving forward, what I would do to really have a strong lead gen agency and a solid company is go on different channels. So it's basically like marketing. You know how you market to your clients to work with you? Now you need to start building a team culture, as in you need to start marketing to media buyers on why they should work in your company. So what I would do at your stage is go to Facebook groups with new media buyers, and there's tons and tons of them. Go on Fiverr and start sending out these messages. Hey, I have this successful lead gen agency doing this amount of volume per month, and I'm just hunting for new talent. If you have experience with lead gen and you produce a certain amount of leads with maybe accounting, then shoot me a message or send over your CV, and then we can jump on a call. So send that to as many people as possible. People will get in touch with you, and then bring about the best ones, about 7 to 8 on one call, and individually tell them, hey, can you prove to me why I should work with you, or why you should work in my company? And this is not so you can replace the person that you currently have, but this is just so you know that, okay, I'm always going to have good talent. So I don't need to rely on one person. So that's how you just keep the pipeline of very good talent. And worst case, if either your current media buyer isn't performing, or maybe you need more media buyers because you have that many clients, then you'll never, in a place where you can't deliver or you can't take more clients on. Because remember, think of your business in two, as in client success and also getting more clients, as in marketing for yourself. So either one shouldn't impact the other. So there's in a big business, there's two separate departments for each one. So one shouldn't affect anyone. So you should always have the client success or the fulfillment dialed in. So marketing never needs to be stopped. You get me so far?
Yeah, 100%.
So basically, go on groups, get as many people on a call together, and that will also kind of naturally get the competition out of them as well. Say, hey, I need to prove myself, and then you can just pick the best ones that gives you ideas. You can phrase questions in a way, hey, can you give me an example? This is one of my clients. How would you help them grow to this point? And then eventually you'll find incredible people. So do you feel like I've answered that question good enough to inshallah take the next step to dialing in fulfillment?
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna try that.
All right, cool. And of course, over time, we'll keep building on that. But for now, this is what you need to do. And for number two, scaling, how should you scale moving forward from now? What is your ad spend at now with the volume that you're doing?
I'm at $45 a day.
$45 a day, and you've done 12.5K this month, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's solid. That's a solid ROAS. That's a solid machine that you built. You're getting a crazy return along the way. So all you would do at this point is understand the principle of more, better, new. A lot of entrepreneurs get into shiny object. Hey, this is working, but I feel bored. Maybe I should try something else. Do not do that. My 63-year-old mentor says, build a system, build a client acquisition system, then get paid until it doesn't work. Then do it better. Then get paid. And then once it doesn't work, then do something new. So do not change anything, because there's a law of cause and effect. Once something works, it's not out of luck. This 12,500 that you made this month is not luck. It's because you have a dialed-in system, and then of course you relied on Allah. But basically, do not change anything. Nothing about your profile, nothing about the way you're posting. Just keep on getting paid. So no boredom. Please don't get bored. Right? Just keep doing what works and get it done as much as possible. With the system that you have, I personally believe with the season that you're going into with North Americans, please correct me if I'm wrong, April is tax season, right?
Yep.
So basically April is approaching. These guys are going to be wanting to get more clients and get as many people as possible to file for in April. So you're about to expect a solid boom coming in. So inshallah, that should be solid for you. Now, that's to answer your second question, how to scale. Number three is hiring a closer. Now, what I've noticed so far over the past couple of months in Lebanon, there's been this huge kind of boom in closers. So either someone's running a solid program to hire and train closers in Lebanon. I don't know what it is, but there's so many Lebanese closers that are actually good. They're trustworthy. I know someone personally that has worked with me as well. Are the slides moving? No, they're not moving. Yeah, we're still on the same slide. We're just covering these questions. But anyway, Rida is one of the closers that I know that once you get to a point of doing at least 3 months of 10K a month or more, then we can definitely get him on. Because obviously, as a closer, they need to see consistency. 3 months of consistency means that you have a system in place. You've done a good quarter. So inshallah, we're going to have a look at the closer. But for the closer, how to hire and train a closer. Hiring, inshallah, I'll refer you to a few people. Because I know a few people that are doing the closer program, so I'll be able to get some of their closers. But anyway, how to hire and train them. So training would come down to you having a solid system. That's why I really recommend you doing call recordings from now on. So on the call recordings, you would give them the recording. Step number one, give them the recording and ask them to come up with a system. Okay, Abdu started the call off of, kind of building a bit of relationship. Step one. Step two, he dug into the pain. Step three, he asked what they wanted. And then step whatever. And then he went to the close. So they will come up with an SOP, a structure, right? And then you will judge, okay, is this what I actually did? If yes, and they were actually right, okay, cool, this guy gets it. Then, the unqualified calls that you just don't want to take, or they're not financially qualified, you'd get him to take at least about 10 to 15 of those, so you can see if he's adhering to the structure that he's come up with himself and following what you've done on the calls. So then that's how you're gonna test out for his adherence. If he is good at adherence, then you're gonna actually start to give him your actual calls. And slowly, you're still going to be taking most of the calls, but you're going to give him one or two here and there, see how he's doing. And over about 10 to 15 calls, you need about, let's say, one or two calls. If that is it, then that's how you scale a sales team. Does that make sense, bro? Did I answer your question?
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, it does.
But when it comes to it, we'll get it done together. But I just want to let you know this is what to look for. For everyone else here on the call, don't get confused. This is just for you to see, okay, this is what to expect, and this is what is currently happening with Abdu's business. So you guys know what is happening. But is everyone clear? Did everyone slightly understand what I was talking about? Any questions for Abdu right now, or even myself, about what we've just spoken about? Anyone?
Yeah, I'll ask a question. Abdu, like when you were at the early stages of this process, what kept you motivated?
So I'm gonna keep it simple. I lost my job. So I had to make money. So this is what I'm trying right now. I actually started this agency like maybe a month before I lost my job with Azam. And when I did, that's when I went all in. So the moment I actually went all in, that's when I started getting tangible results. When I had my job, I was getting like one client of 1,500, and that's it, right? Then after that, I was getting a lot of clients there. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Okay.
my main motivation, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I think Kashif had a question, and then Muhammad Umar.
Yes. Just wanted to understand with Abdul, you also mentioned that you've got a system in place. Is that just a bunch of things that you're doing in terms of cold calling? Are you doing the IG funnel? Is it everything that's mentioned in the course, or is there something different, or something that's specifically working for you? Was my question.
So basically, in the beginning, I did everything Azam did. So he said 200 outreach per week, right, Azam?
Yeah.
And I actually tried to do double what he said, and that's how I got my first client. And then that's how I got actually my 3 first clients. Then after that, I took my money, the cash collected, and I started running ads like he advised me. And from there, everything took off.
So same ads that you guys have seen me on. You just did it in the accounting niche.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jazakallah.
All right. And Muhammad Umar asked about the cold calls. So he did the cold calls initially, but now he doesn't. That makes sense.
Yeah, now I solely rely on ads for now.
Yeah. So like I've mentioned in phase 2, guys, nothing that we're doing here, I haven't done myself. He hasn't done himself. Outreach, outbounds, so you can get your clients for free. And then we never, ever touch outbounds. We just pay to get clients. That's it. But cool, guys. Let's move over to the mindset. And inshallah, Abdu can take a bit of benefit from this as well. So standards over goals. What I mean by that is all of us have certain hygiene standards, like brushing their teeth, I hope. Or like, wearing clean clothes, or whatever it is for you, like eating a certain amount a day, having 3 meals. These are standards. As in, if you don't do it, you start to feel that icky feeling like, oh, what the crap? I need to get it done. Like, I need to brush my teeth. Standards over goals. So people, there's many people that say, I want to get to 10K a month, I want to get to 5K a month. But standard is when you set this thing that I need to get done. If I don't get it done, you start to feel that pain. And until a human feels pain, they will never ever act. And that's just human nature, and you can't argue with that. When Abdul lost his job, he felt that intense pain. I need to get this done. And that's when things started to change. So when you go all into things, that's when things start to work. Second point on this is remove all the noise, because I've talked about this a couple of weeks back, the 80-20 principle, as in 80% of the results that you get, the money that you're making, Abdu, comes from 20% of the action. The 20% of the actions for you right now is literally just taking those calls and nothing else, not building more websites, not doing other random things that will possibly improve the business. It's just taking sales calls, because the rest of the stuff is already being done by the ads. The lead generation is being done by the ads. So for you guys right now, what I mean by remove all noise is when it comes to like other things like health, having structures in place for your meals, having someone helping you with your meals just for this season, just until you have to do those outbounds, or kind of get things up from the ground. Just make sure to just remove all the noise possible. Have a very, very polite conversation with your husband, wife, kids. Hey, I'm trying to do this for us. Just support me for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And inshallah, our life will change. If you have kids, incentivize them by PS4s or PS5s or whatever is in right now. Just incentivize them, because again, human nature, anyone ever does anything for one reason, because they feel like it and they see some sort of incentive for them. So you give them an incentive. Hey, just support me, help me remove all the noise, and inshallah we can make this work for all of us. And work, prioritize. Okay, after 5 p.m., after 6 p.m., I will not think about my 9-to-5 job, and this is all I'm going to do. And if it has to be, just leverage other time zones that are a couple of hours ahead of you or behind you to really make sure you give it whatever is possible from your side to actually make this work. Now, Nazneen, I'm gonna mention you. So we had a one-on-one 1 or 2 days ago, and you mentioned to me that I'm now not doing it for the house or getting something specific. I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna enjoy this process. I'm gonna learn. And you told me how much you're enjoying the outbounds, which is refreshing to hear. But the reason why I wanted to mention this point is because this is the sort of energy that it takes to actually succeed. Because if you're too attached to things like, okay, I need to get this house, I need to have enough money, what that does is that pedestalizes that, okay, this 10K a month is such a beautiful thing, and what's going to happen when that happens, and how is life going to be? So you're just kind of putting it up here. It's not on the same level as you. And what life naturally tends to do is it goes more towards a path of least resistance, as in it needs to be natural to you. So don't pedestalize anything. Understanding our subconscious. Now, I'm not a psychologist, or I haven't studied this in detail, but I have learned from very, very reputable people in this topic. So subconscious, we're all tribal creatures, as in there used to be tribes when before the civilization that we have. There used to be tribes, as in there's a certain amount of people, then there were the leaders, and there were the hunters, and whatever the case is. Now we have these natural subconscious tendencies, as in whenever someone does this to your face, you automatically flinch. It's not that you're afraid, but it's just a mechanism to protect yourself. Just like that, you going from not making anything, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K a month to 10K a month or more, subconsciously it seems like danger, because you're going from this tribe to this tribe all of a sudden. And then what subconsciously you're afraid of is, what if the tribal leader on the top group gets a stick and starts beating you and says, hey, get back to your tribe? That is legit. You can search this up, and it's something that subconsciously we do have as a fear, and it's called what do you call it, man? When you don't feel like you deserve something. Can anyone think of that word?
Imposter syndrome.
What's that?
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. That's it. So that's what I'm talking about. And what that does is then you start to self-sabotage. And the simple fix for that is just don't pedestalize things. Just, I want to get to 10K a month because, and I understand it's not a special thing. It's just a byproduct of doing certain actions. I know what I need to do first. I need to get my first £800 client, 1,500 Canadian client, put it into ads, and then it will happen as a byproduct. Now, why do I personally do this? Now, personally, the sort of person that I am, I'm not really motivated by cars and houses and all that stuff. I don't know what it is, and neither holidays, neither do I like taking off, because even on my days off, I'm thinking about this. So I'm glad that I actually love what I do, and that is the best advice that anyone could give to anyone. Just start to love what you do. Make this enjoyable, like Nazneen has. So what I mean by that is doing the work that I do every single day from 12 p.m. till 8 p.m. every single day, 6 days a week, and actually enjoying it. The reason I do that is because this is my purpose. I believe my life's purpose is to have specific goals, like 1 million orphans and making this the best program possible, and make sure that during 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., I'm only doing 20% of the actions that create 80% of the results, and keep doing that. I understand, and not to make this depressing, that life is pain, and I could either be suffering if I didn't have these goals and I wasn't working every day. I would still have pain, but I would be suffering because I'm not doing anything for a specific reason. And humans, for one reason or another, they find something to worry about, or kind of focus upon something negative because it's a survival mechanism. But what I'm trying to say is, I've just convinced myself that the purpose of my life is just keep on doing the 20% of the actions and for a specific purpose. So sure, I'll have discomfort, this over here, but at least I won't be suffering. So that's what I'd suggest to you guys as well. Just kind of rephrase or kind of make this situation that you're in of actually starting this new business into something just beautiful. Like, you're doing it for a purpose. It's discomfort, but it's at least not suffering. Suffering is you not doing anything for a purpose and you just kind of going through the flow of life. Please drop a 1 in the chat if you understand what I've said so far. 2 if you haven't, and I'll cover the point again. Cool. I see 1s. Solid. Perfect. Cool. Now you must be also wondering, but Azam, I have so many other responsibilities. How do I dedicate more time and attention to this? Guys, step number 1 is always self-awareness. Like, my pet peeve after being in public service for almost 5 years and also working with, all sorts of individuals, it's just, there's so much of this. Like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm hardworking, I do this. But you don't, though. Like, if you did, you will already be there. And this is not so I can insult people or put anyone down. I'm just making you have self-awareness. One thing my dad always did, and maybe it wasn't the most positive thing, is he used to challenge me. When I got my first client, he was like, what if it's luck? What if it's just, he's challenged me like that. So that allowed me to go ahead and get 1 more client from LinkedIn, get 1 more client from Facebook group follow, and then test out so many different things. And maybe it was for a positive, because then that allows me to, whenever I win, I question myself, is this just a fluke? Is this something that I actually deserve? So my point being is, have self-awareness. Are you actually that hardworking person that you believe yourself to be? Are you actually putting everything you can into this? Because the realizing part is, solving half the problem. First, realize. And I really strongly believe there's no such thing as having no time. I actually think that's a bunch of bullcrap. Like, it's not possible. There's presidents running whole countries. There's people doing so much more than you. People making 100 times more money than you. How are they operating? It's just prioritization of having full clarity on what you want, where you're going within the next 6 months, and knowing this is exactly what my day should look like. Your calendar is the map, is a roadmap. Show me your calendar for the past 6 months, and I'll tell you exactly why you're here. If you fill your calendar with highly qualified sales calls for the next 6 months, I promise you'll have at least 200-300 grand in the bank. I promise you. That's a guarantee. But that's a byproduct of you having certain things on your calendar. So if you don't believe me, just track your time for the next 3 days and just see exactly what you're doing every half an hour, every 30 minutes. What have you actually achieved? Have you put that brick towards the building that you want to create, or is it just kind of float the boat activities? I'm big on this. I'm really serious about being self-aware and knowing exactly what you're doing on a daily basis and having your steps clear. And for Abdu, I want to say right here, I have this board in front of me that basically has my 2 main specific 20%, which is analyze results in the program, improve by 1%, better equals faster plus easier. So that's the program. So either client success, number 2, better, more upfront payments, more monthly recurring payments, and more referrals. So these are the 2 things that I'm thinking of all the time. So the question you need to ask yourself, and you should have everything in front of you here, is just 2 things. The questions that you ask yourself, that's the sort of results or the answers that your brain is going to start to search for. So asking myself every single day at a certain time, how can I analyze results in a way where I can improve just by 1%? So this just stacks up over and over again. And it's like that example of, who knows Sam Walton? Does everyone know Sam Walton? No one knows Sam Walton? He's the guy that created Walmart. I'm sure everyone knows Walmart. Walmart is Asda in the UK. But anyway, the guy was the richest person when he died, I think early 90s or so. But anyway, his tactic on how he started Walmart, back when the concept of massive supermarkets wasn't the case, was he analyzed each aspect as in like constantly keeping in mind action, analyze, adjust. So moving the aisles this many inches, or moving the food aisles or the candy aisles right next to the counter. So just little things, bit by bit. Let's do this 1% change and keep doing that over and over again to make a solid business. Because at the start, all I can give you, everyone here, and especially Abdu right now, is just the fundamentals, the first principles. The right answers I can't possibly give to you, because that will only happen by you doing the thing yourself. And then you can ask yourself, okay, how can I improve the client success by 1%? How can I make more money by just 1%? But keep in mind, don't change the systems that are already working, because you'll break them. That's just one lesson that I've learned. Do not do that. If you want to improve your client acquisition system by 1%, kind of copy that ad and then do the tweak and do it as a separate ad set, not the one that is already working. So again, coming to the point, action, analyze, adjust, that's all business is. To end this topic, just a quick saying: money loves speed, wealth loves time, poverty loves indecision. Now, indecision could be indecision to take action, to act upon things that you know you should be doing. Don't be the poor person. Now, this category, you're not bound to any category. You can change just by changing your actions. Please drop a 1 in the chat if we feel like we have covered this topic in a way where it is really sunk in. 2 if it hasn't. I'd love to cover this, over and over again until it really sinks in for you guys. I see 1's coming in, 3 so far, 4, 5. I want to see everyone dropping a 1, because this is a very, very important topic. I don't think it's everyone, unless it is. Okay, cool. Quick question, guys. Does everyone know Asim Hakim? Because I'm thinking of potentially doing a one-on-one with him and adding that on the mindset section and really having his sort of perspective and kind of give that to you guys. Does everyone know Asim Hakim is that guy with the big beard who gives, advice, the scholar, yeah, the speaker? So everyone knows him. Okay, perfect. That's great. Then I'll potentially get a one-on-one with them and then ask him these questions, and maybe he'll have a bit more, authority, and then you guys might believe him even more from an Islamic perspective. Perfect. It's good to hear. But remember, guys, all roads lead to 30 book consultations. I remember with Abdu, he was approaching the 30 consultations. It was like, when am I going to get the second and third close? And it happened just at that point. And then after that, what is the closing percentage for you, Abdu?
I think for every 7 calls, I get like 2 clients.
Yeah. So your closing percentage drastically increases as you have that momentum.
Yeah.
But for you guys right now, the worst case scenario that I've given to you is 30 calls taken, 30 15-minute demos taken, and then you can expect at least a 10% closing rate, which is 3. But income is a byproduct of action, not how long you've been in the program. So your definition of work, it's 200 outbounds until you get your first 1.5K Canadian client, 1K USD, 800 pounds. Then we can put that into ads, and you never have to do outbounds ever again. The end, please drop a 1 or a 10 in the chat, or anywhere between that, just to let me know and give me your feedback on how useful or wasn't useful this call was. 10 being this was exactly what I needed for the next week. 0 or 1 would be this was terrible. It didn't help me at all. But inshallah, guys, I will speak to you next week. If you have any questions, do let me know. If you want to do a one-on-one at this stage, Samira has kindly volunteered for that. She is a successful client as well. She'll be able to jump on a call with you if only, of course, you need it. But any other questions, do let me know on WhatsApp. I will speak to you guys soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam.